Welcome to the Bad Bitch Collective. I am your host, Demi motherfucking Cannon, and this is the space for black sheep leaders, bold conversations, and the identity upgrades required to build the business, hold the money, and live your most authentic life. If you're ready to stop shrinking and stop hiding, buckle up, babe. Let's go. All right, welcome to another one, the Bad Bitch Collective, and today I have a beautiful guest, and you can already see this sexy bad bitch. I know you can see her, but we met at the legendary Alex Tripod event, and I just felt so connected to this woman. Just energetically, there was something, she was so authentically herself and just had this really raw, big, bold energy. And so we connected on socials. And so I want to give a little bit of an introduction. So from what Samirah has sent me, it's giving 6-figure, but I'm just going to call it out multi-6-figure, soon to be 7-figure. Let's fucking claim that shit. All right. Multi-dimensional, transformational fucking healer, guide, mentor. But what I will say I can feel is you are here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you work with women about like delving into the depths of themselves and really embodying their truest potential, soul-led, big dog fucking leadership, right? And so no further ado, I will introduce you. Welcome, Samirah.
Thank
How goes mom?
Yes, literally. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be on here. I fucking love your vibe and everything that you're creating, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to just
Amazing. So I've introduced you a little thing, but is there anything else you would like our audience to know about what you do, who you're here to serve?
Absolutely. So I feel like the most potent piece is the awakening and the remembrance of the ancient feminine lineage through Egyptian alchemy.
Yeah, tell us about that, because that's a lot of fucking word salad. And if our listeners don't know what the fuck you're talking about, teach these motherfuckers.
So a lot of the system and the structure and everything that we know about the world that we live today has been really built around the masculine and a rejection of the power of women. Like if we look at how everything's set up today, it's not ideal for women to be in their fullest expression and win and fully be in their power. And what their power looks like is literally just being all of them. And even if we bring it to the simple fact of being the portal of life,
yes,
and remembering the power of that, like literally just makes us elite. And so what's happening right now, we're coming into a time where that age of the repression of the feminine, the power of the feminine, and like that masculine that was running everything, the control, the force, the system is completely shattering, and there is a new way emerging.
I love
And
this.
what that looks like is it's really fucking messy because one, we haven't experienced it before. Two, it's a skill set that most people aren't aware of, because in order to fully be in our feminine, it actually requires us to feel our emotions and be in the present moment, which is quite opposite to how most of the world is used to living. It's through Egyptian alchemy, which is the transmuting of these emotions. So, for example, if you're in the personal development world, you'll hear that excitement and fear is the exact same thing in the body. The only difference is a story we tell us. So if we were to take that a bit further, it's each emotion has a polarity, has a empowered version of that emotion. And you can't have one without the other. And your ability to feel the fear is the ability that you're going to be able to feel the excitement. What we're seeing right now is most people are kind of on this flat line of like numbness, not feeling anything, or in masks pretending to a particular kind of way. But
Because
actually,
they're so disconnected. Like, as a race, we're so fucking disconnected from our physical body and the range of emotions. And I mean, a lot of what I teach, and go through back in my healer era when I was a healer, was like people have no idea how to feel their fucking emotions. They've got no idea how to actually just be with them. And we make them so elongated and extended, and it's so painful. And oh my God, when it's like, bitch, if you drop down, I talk about this loop that happens. Most people, something happens, triggers emotion, suppression, right? Your
Yeah.
emotions need to close the loop. Like you
Yeah.
just feel it, express it, release it, whatever the fuck it looks like, and it closes it out. It doesn't need to be 7 days of deep fucking depression and I can't move or show up in my business. Motherfucker, get up.
Yeah, literally, because all that is a symptom or an outcome from the repression. Because realistically, studies show you only need to be in emotion for no longer than 3 minutes and it's passed and it's alchemized. That
Yes.
was it.
Yeah, but this will have you. Oh my God, he left me because I'm a piece of shit. I'm such a loser. Oh my God, I'm so fucking ugly. Oh my God, I'm a piece of like literally. This will run motherfucking laps. Oh my God, we could be here for 20 years. I need to ask you this first and foremost question that I was meant to ask you at the start, but fam, we we got sidetracked. Okay, so Samirah, you beautiful fucking ancient Egyptian goddess, what makes you feel like your bad bitch self?
I think going into what you said at the intro when we first met and you were talking, like, I could feel her energy. I should literally get that fucking printed on a shirt or tattooed across my forehead, because the amount of times I literally get people coming up to me being like, I don't know what it is, but like I can feel your energy and I can feel your power. Like that makes me feel like a fucking bad bitch. And the reason I get this response from people a lot of the time is there are a lot of people who think that they're in their power and they're really not.
Yeah,
You are uncomfortable with rage, you aren't in your power.
yeah. Why
Because,
rage specifically to you?
hey,
Why rage specifically?
because inside of the nervous system, power and passion
Mm-hmm.
is that alchemized version of rage. So if you can't
Gotcha.
hold rage or anger inside of your body, you're not going to be able to hold the passion and the
Power.
drive and power.
Yeah. I
So
fucking love
my
this.
ability to be able to take people to the depths to express
Yeah.
the rage that's been passed down ancestrally that lives within the feminine consciousness is what makes me feel like a fucking bad bitch.
Bad bitch, right? And do you know what's so funny is very much the same. I've been trained in. I used to run like really big, deep, cathartic rebirth sessions, right? And like I've held men fully like in their fucking rage, and that I was like, I'm a motherfucking gangster, like I got you, like there is this. And I think that being in this depth of work, which, you know what, Loki, I miss that shit, maybe I should run that shit again. But being in that depth of holding someone at that level, when we talk about, a lot of my work is around like authenticity. If you can't hold yourself through the depths of the darkness, how the fuck do you expect to live in your full potential? You just can't.
No, it's not possible.
Yeah. I would love to know, you're living a life that I guess most people, if we look at the population and the way the world is right now, they would say we're weirdo fucking bitches and how are you even making any money and la la la. So I want to ask you this really important question. At what point did you know, or was it always a knowing, that you weren't meant for like a normal life?
Mm, I love this question. I feel like with this, it was always an innate knowing, because there's
Yeah.
been this thread and this narrative that has been alive with me, which has allowed me to be exactly where I am right now of not feeling like I belong. And I think it was always like in school, I would always look around and I would be like, how come no one is questioning why we have to do what we do? Like, why are people so okay to go to school, listen to and do what they're told, go to this path of uni, build a career, live this white picket fence fucking surface level life. Like it literally didn't make sense to me. And because I thought that way and no one around me at the time was questioning that, I thought there was something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Recognizing that that normal path actually required me to be disconnected from what other potentiality is out there, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I just knew that it wasn't, and could feel that it wouldn't last long term for me, even though I couldn't articulate it yet.
Yeah. Do you feel like you are somewhat of a rebel or a black sheep? Do you feel like that's something you've, maybe that's not the language that you might use, but I mean, this is the language that I use. Like, if you've got different terminology, tell me.
No, that's literally it. The cycle breaker,
Yeah.
the first one in the ancestral line to like shift and create change, definitely, yeah, resonate with the black sheep piece.
Yeah. And so if there's listeners and like I will say if anybody's listening and you're only really now just coming to this awakening point where you're like waking up and you're like, wait, this life I've built, what the fuck? I didn't even want this. Like that this can happen at any point, at any time in your life. Sarah, do you have any advice for those people? Like, is there anything that you would share with them, a piece of wisdom you want to drop or any encouragement for that human?
Literally, what I would say is firstly, I would honor that individual because in the personal development space or the spiritual community or whatever they call it, the void, there's that
Yeah.
death and rebirth cycle that plays out where your old identity has died, but your new one hasn't fully anchored yet.
Hmm.
And that's that nothingness, that void, that what the fuck do I do, feeling like everything around you is fully crumbling, where you're not that previous version of yourself anymore, but you're also not a new version anymore. Firstly, it's actually acknowledging yourself for the courage that you have to be stepping into the unknown, because that's the only place that growth can happen.
Yeah. Can you say that again?
So, firstly, acknowledging yourself for stepping out into courage, out of your comfort zone, because that's the only place that growth can happen.
I love that. Being in the unknown is the only place that growth can happen, guys. And I talk about this all the time and something that so I'm a channel as well, which I believe everybody, my belief is everybody has psychic gifts. They just don't know how to fucking use them.
Yes.
And so I'm a channel, and something Spirit said to me once that I was like, fuck me, this is insane. Is like, anytime you come up against uncomfortability, right, you're at your edge. There's this edge. And whenever you step outside of the edge, you expand your comfort zone and it never ever snaps backwards. And to me, I was like, boosh. Like, so every tiny little piece of courage you take, and it doesn't always have to be the big things like break up with your fucking husband or your wife or leave your 9 to 5, but it's the tiny little moments and you expand your comfort zone and then you never, ever, ever go backwards. And I was like, bro, that's fucking life changing.
Literally, it's like that saying of like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. Ooh, and sometimes ignorance is bliss, bitch. I will not lie to you.
Feels like it's like,
this is not this is not for the weak of heart, I will say. So, my love, I would love to know, like going back to that black sheep comment, right? What do you feel like? I know that and if you're listening to this and you've always been a black sheep too, we got balls and you've got the big dick energy, but when it comes to like your business journey, like what I guess steps did you take, or where did the courage first come from that you were like, fuck it, I'm just gonna risk my ego, risk my money, and just go for it?
I feel like the people that are going to listen to this would likely be on a similar journey where it didn't necessarily have to be a particular moment because there was always this innate knowing
Hmm.
that they were here for more.
Yeah.
And of course, it's hard when the human, like, we're conditioned and there's like all of these emotions and the stories that and limitations that can make it feel difficult to move towards the things we know we got to do. Because one of the things that I always say is like, we know innately what we need to do, we just pretend we don't.
Yeah. Because we're scared. Yeah. The human is scared.
Yeah. And so I think the more naturally that you just follow through in the thing that you know that you need to do, even when it's scary, it's like a muscle.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't recommend for someone to fully just like jump straight into the deep end because then you'll fry your nervous system. It would literally be like going to the gym and then trying to lift like straight off the bat more than what you can carry and then straining a muscle and then not being able to.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. It's like treating your mindset or your emotional resilience and this work in the same way that you would as if you're building a muscle when you're going to the gym. It takes like patience, consistency, and it's just like bit by bit. The more that you do it, the more that you expand, the more that you grow.
Okay. I do want to challenge this though and say that do you believe that sometimes there are moments where you just have to take the big leap? Yes, it's important to, those small, the little momentum pieces, but have you ever come up to a time, and it might have been like investing, where it was like a fuckload of money and you were like, oh my god, this is huge, and like, shit, I'm scared, but you took the leap in some way and it paid off?
100%. I feel like that's been my whole journey. And like,
Just
I,
don't recommend to do it the way I did it, but
oh yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like for most people, realistically, like I feel like not to toot our own horns, but we're like a
treat it.
small minority of people
Yes.
that can take the big leap and figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think again, there's like story that has played out in our life that's actually allowed us to do that. Like I came from a background in addiction. I was a drug addict, and we've obviously come to a point where we've navigated through that and can now live a life sober. Takes a level of resilience, self-trust, which is what actually allows us in the first place to be able to take the big leap. So if someone doesn't really have a story like that, or they haven't even traversed anything, then I feel
Mm.
like the small pieces are necessary, because the reason we were able to take the big leaps is because we had the small steps just from our lives unfolding naturally.
Agreed. Agreed. And I believe, and I make this bold statement all the time, that ex addicts are some of the best fucking entrepreneurs. And it is because we have traveled, like we said at the start of this, we have traveled to the depths of the darkness within our motherfucking selves. And if you can claw your way out, and it doesn't even have to be like a drug addict, but if you are somebody who grew up in like extreme poverty, horrible neglect, like deep
Yeah,
fucking, whatever you have, my belief is the adversity you have experienced in this life can always be turned into power. And my belief is that people that have that huge range of emotion in that way, like, are those who are here to lead in this way.
absolutely.
I love that. I didn't know that you were ex addict too. And we're the same. Is that what has there been a moment within your business? And I would love to eventually talk about money, because you're holding money in a way that is really incredible to see. But I do want to ask you, has there been a moment in your entrepreneurial journey that at the time was like, fuck me, this is fucked, and it was so hard to sit with or move with or be in, but now looking back, you're like, that was a pivotal point for me? Maybe it was just in life. It doesn't even have to be in business.
Mm, I feel like that specific journey gets traversed so regularly. I'm like, which one do I choose?
I'm constantly dying to myself.
Really? But I feel like the one that summoned the most courage, and I look back at, and I thought I would never be able to do it, but it was actually leaving my relationship last year.
Oh, wow.
So that was my longest relationship that I've been in so far. The deepest, was the most profound, the most transformational. And my biggest fear at the time was actually walking away from that relationship, because I didn't realize at the time how much I was outsourcing my power and the attachment and codependence that was actually playing out. That took the most, and it literally like broke me. I burnt everything down to the ground. Yet at the same time, had I not done that, I would not be where I am today
Yep.
at all.
1,000%. Relationships, I always say there's two things that will fuck you up the deepest, and it is business or relationships.
Yes.
And so, like, inside of my work, my container at the moment, it's business and, and people that don't have relationships. And I always say to the girls that aren't in business, trust and believe that relationships will absolutely have you facing every fucking shadow and delve into the depths of your soul in all ways, because we need that. Life is this big fucking mirror, which is so hard for some people to hear, because, something that we learn even as ex addicts is, you have to take radical responsibility, right?
Yes.
My life is fucked because I made it fucked. And so every single part of your life is fucked because you made it fucked. And people get so offended by that. But I
Yeah.
think it's so empowering because it's like, cool. So if I know that I create my external world through my internal world, then I actually have the power to change that versus, oh, poor me, fucking everything in life is happening to me, bro.
Literally, it is the most empowering thing because it's like if you're the problem, it also means that you're the solution.
Yes. All right, so I want to delve into your work a little bit more because, listen, I've got a wide array of listeners, to be men, women, whoever. Some have no idea about this kind of stuff. Others are in business. So, talk to me about like who would be an ideal human soulmate client that you would work with. What would they be struggling with?
Yeah. So realistically, a lot of the women who come to work with me, they're quite spiritually open. They're aware, it's very rare that I'll have someone that's like fully 3D and has no idea that we're a spiritual being having a human experience. So one, they're, aware of kind of how the world works, the current state that we're living in. They're aware that we're moving into a new world. They're aware that they want to create impact. They're the first one in their lineage that is facing and addressing the hardships that come with being human. And the main thing that they deal with is overachieving, feeling the need to achieve and work hard in order to be loved. They're often the strong one, the rock of the family, the one that everyone comes to because that was how they thought growing up they were going to be loved and valued
Yeah.
was through how they were providing or how they
Yeah.
could give to other people. That often comes with a lot of people pleasing where they will bend their own needs and desires in order to please others, which then, of course, naturally builds a lot of resentment and rage. And I believe that in order to be able to get to the other emotions of like guilt, grief, sadness, can't fully access the depth of those emotions until we break. I feel like anger is at the top and it's like a
Yeah.
layer. And then you're kind of only just getting little bits until you can break the.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like anger is an emotion that we feel almost as a protective mechanism. So underneath anger is the sadness, is the hurt, is the shame, is everything else. So it is the big protection shield that is placed in front of you. And it's so interesting because like anger is, in this world, it's inside of society, mostly because people have never learned you don't have to direct your anger at someone, but you do need to express it in your own like private space. But anger is perceived as one of those emotions that's like not acceptable amongst many fucking other things in the world to actually express.
Literally. And I think it's because so many people have been hurt
Yeah.
in the past or they've watched their parents get hurt. Like I feel like domestic violence and abuse is almost so normal.
Yeah.
A lot of people experience it, but we can just tell in the physical health of most people with cancer being at a rate of 1 in 2 in Australia alone. And what is cancer is inflammation in the body, and inflammation is usually associated with anger.
Yeah. And people get it's so interesting that you're bringing this up because somebody posted, I was just watched the video before about how they have a form of cancer and this is an energetic practitioner, and the next slide was, don't come at me and tell me that I've manifested my own illness because how dare you blame me for. And it's like, again, that lack of accountability where it's like, if you own, not that it's your fault, but if your emotions that are trapped inside your body, if you own that that has contributed, I'm not saying it's the only factor,
Yeah.
but it's contributed to this manifestation, then again, you have power to change it. But people don't want power because then it gives them responsibility. And so if they're fucking shitty with the way they look after themselves, and they're shitty with their level of fucking emotional maturity, and they're shitty with their habits, well, then they're to blame. And it's like, the more responsibility you own, the more ownership you have, the more you can change your fucking life.
Literally.
Oh, Mic drop, bitch. Yeah. And people get so offended. Like, I will share listen, I'm bold and I honestly don't cop as much slack as I probably should. Thank you to my codes. But I will share the shit that nobody's willing to talk about because it needs to be fucking said. And if people aren't willing to stand up, like if you desire to be a leader within your industry, which will lead me to my next question with you, but you have to be willing to stand up against what people actually fucking believe. And I
Yeah.
see so many, I work with women in business, in, spiritual business, whatever. And I see so many women just copy and pasting and they're too fucking scared. They're treading on, tiptoeing around shit. And it's like, how the fuck do you expect to hold 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K, 100K months, whatever, if you are just blending in to this boring ass motherfucking world where everybody looks the same, bitch?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what is something within the industry that we work in that you are like, fuck off, this is bullshit, I don't agree with this shit?
There's a lot.
Go on, spit them, fire it out.
So the first thing would be, well, one strategy, first and
Mm.
foremost, of course. Um, I don't think we need any strategy. I think you are the strategy. And I remember having actually a conversation with one of my previous clients, and she's experiencing burnout and frustration that everything that she is doing isn't working. And I was like, great. Well, what is it that you're doing? And the list of her routine and the bullshit that she's ticking off that she has learned along the way from other mentors and business coaches, and the way that you should build business, which she's like shoulding all over herself.
Yeah. Shitting. Shitting all over yourself with your shudding.
Yeah, 100%. And I was like, okay, what if, and you literally, let's play a game with the universe. What if you literally just scratched all of that off and you just did what you wanted to do? That challenged her. She was like, well, how am I going to make money? How am I going to, like, that's not having a business. I don't even have the energy to do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, if you're doing what you enjoy and you're coming from a place of overflow first, as a byproduct, naturally, you're going to have the energy to show up in your business, and it's going to actually come from a place of creative flow that is you, as opposed to just coming from a place of obligation. Because at the end of the day, you can continue to show up in the way that you're showing up now, but the frequency that you're showing up in is actually repelling
Yep.
people so they can feel it behind it. So you're actually better off not showing up in the first place anyway.
Yeah, just fuck off then.
Yeah, literally, just get the fuck out.
For your entire business, fuck off back to a normal life, mate. Don't even bother. Get the fuck out.
Go. And it's like just that simple piece of people underestimating the power of literally you, what you talk about, being in your fullest expression.
Yeah.
For example, I've been in a training room for the last 3 days, crewing for an event. I probably posted once in the last 2 weeks. I did one story of a retreat, which I've never posted about before, maybe only once. And I sold 2 spots in one day.
Well done, babe. And so, for those who don't understand what you're saying there, what are you saying allowed you to achieve that result?
So what I'm saying is that well, behind the scenes, what was happening was I was literally just focusing on my internal world first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing what I enjoyed. Realistically, I'm looking at my schedule and I'm looking at what my life looks like. And I should not have put my whole life on pause for 3 days to be in a training room.
Yeah.
Realistically, if I'm looking at my calendar and I'm looking at all the things, like I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And though I wanted to, because I fucking love watching women transform. So what do you
Yeah.
think that's going to be doing it to my frequency if I'm doing what I want to do versus what I should be doing? That allows my frequency to be in pleasure, to be in joy, to be in excitement. That
Yeah.
opens
And
my
magnetism.
body, and exactly, it opens
Yeah.
up my body to be a fucking magnet to receive. So I just put one post up, no information, by the way, just like all I said was, I'm running a retreat in May on the Gold Coast. Reply, boom.
I love this.
No, I didn't even have to tell them what we were doing, what it's about, what the transformation is. All it was like, it's this much, done. They were just like, I just know that I need to be there
Yeah.
because I trust myself. They did
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And like what you're talking about here in what I call is like this is when you're in soul fire. So soul
Mm.
fire is like you have all of the energy in the world. You are lit the fuck up. And so a lot of I've had the same belief as you that people talk so much about strategy, rah rah, and there is some ways to do things, but I will say first and foremost to all my clients, like I'm not here to help you build a business like me. Fuck me. This is how you want to build a business. What lights you up? What excites you? Like, if you're running shit because you have to fucking run shit, or you have to show up as a healer in this way because everyone else does, what the fuck is the point, bro? You're going to sit there in your sessions and think, fuck me, when is this ending? And looking at the clock, get this bitch out of my room. Like, why would you want to even, and money's not magnetized to that either. Like, actually share with us because listen, this woman has the figures she sent me. I'm like, damn, girl, what is your relationship with money? And I will say also, and just for anybody listening, that, as money is the masculine structure within your business, okay? That's my belief. And so, man or woman, feminine energy needs to be acted, receiving energy needs to be acted, magnetism needs to be enacted for you to be able to receive money. So, from your perspective, how do you feel like you've been able to move through what you've moved through, I guess, and receive the amount of money that you've been receiving?
Mm. So it began by firstly embodying my feminine. So again, it's like stepping away from the strategy and the force and the overworking yourself and doing what you think you need to do, and learning how to cultivate sovereignty internally in who you are. Because that journey alone is going to allow you to uncover the blocks that stops you from feeling like you are worthy in the first place to.
Yes.
And as you deepen along your journey into the feminine, you then come to the next stage of what is my actual relationship with the masculine. And for most women, there is a lot of unconscious rage because for eons, like even if we're just looking as a collective, because the feminine has been repressed, imagine someone has like want someone that you loved told you constantly to shut up or you are not good enough. Like over time, you're going to be like, fuck you.
Yep.
That's what's been happening as a collective for the feminine. And that's just as a collective, not even just what's happened in our life with the men in our life. The relationship we have with our dad, the relationship that our mum had with our dad, the relationship that our grandma had with her partner, her dad, that gets passed down. So there are all of these threads of how we relate to the masculine. And that shows up through money because the
Yep.
money is masculine.
Yes. Absolutely. And it's an amplifier. Like any situation, anything in life you have a relationship with. And I always say to my clients, like the most important relationships you will have in this life is the first one is the relationship you have with yourself. The
Mm.
second one is the relationship you have with spirit, God, universe, whoever the fuck you call it. And the third one is the relationship you have with money. Because in this 3D realm we live in, money is the access to freedom, to choice, to like it just is what it is in this realm, right? And so those three relationships are the most fucking important relationships you'll ever have because people will come and go, bitch. No one's sticking in your life, whether it's your blood family member, your mum, your dad, your boyfriend, your friend, whatever. People will come and go, but those three things consistent forever with you. Reality of business. What is something about running a business that no one fucking talks about? Maybe it's something hard, maybe it's some little like I don't know, mindset thing you have with yourself.
Mm. It's definitely the void, the death and the rebirth piece. I feel like on social media, it's such a fucking highlight reel. And there isn't a
Sure.
lot of behind the scenes or what it actually takes to build a business.
Yep.
And I think there's a misconception that, oh, of course, it's easy for this person because, whatever story they may say, that
Yep.
they're just born a particular way or they have a skill set, like a really fixed mindset. The level of vulnerability that is required to have a business. Like to encompass all of that is that, again, as we were saying earlier, relationships and business will be the biggest catalyst for growth and evolution and expansion because we're constantly being mirrored our shadows.
Yep.
And that never stops no matter what level you are at. And it doesn't matter. And I feel like there's also this fucking misconception that once you learn the tools or once you reach this certain milestone or this fucking level in business that all of a sudden you don't get triggered and you don't have problems anymore, and they think that there's this destination when it comes to healing.
Yeah.
That is not the case at all. What you
Nope.
see with the people who have the life that you desire in terms of business, whether it's money, impact that they're making, the amount of clients, like what they're actually creating in their business, the reason that they're there is because they have journeyed more depth than you have. They have more of a backbone than you have. They've had more courage to actually face themselves. They're not showing up and doing all of the things and ticking boxes of strategy and messaging 100 people and putting out 25 pieces of content, though they might say that that's what they're doing, some fucking like strategy bullshit people. But they're actually meeting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that embodiment piece too. Like I say all the time that paying attention to people's highlight reels creates entitled fucking people. I've worked with and I have done a lot of work with people who are newer inside of creating business, and they think if they post, they just start showing up, they've just started showing up the first couple of weeks, consistently posting or consistently doing the energy work or whatever, that then all of a sudden they expect a result. And it's like, you entitled motherfucker. Like that is not how it works. So everyone you see posting 10, 20, 30, 40K months, like, again, this is why I am such a huge advocate for bitches, men, show us the hard shit. Like I just went through this 3 month fucking, was even longer, 6 month, I think, long death rebirth cycle. I don't know what I want to do. Well, do I want to burn my entire world to the ground? And my audience, I show them every single fucking piece. The days when I doubted myself, I'm always consistent in showing up because that's what I like to do. I don't tell my clients I have to, but consistency is fucking necessary. And being vulnerable, like you said, people need to see shit. Fucking Rome wasn't built in a day, bro. The people that are showing you their highlight reels aren't showing you the times they sat in their fucking room at night crying their eyes out thinking they want to fucking quit it and run back to a 9 to 5. Like, we need to see more real shit instead of people posting, I'm just fucking making all this money and serving all these clients and I'm just living my best life. Bitch, how the fuck did you get there?
Yeah, literally. And it'll only be a matter of time. Like with what we're moving into, illusion is stripping. So you will know and feel the authentic embodied leaders and the not.
Yep. Same goes for content, babe. Like my TikTok's at like 63K. I've helped a lot of my clients get, virality isn't necessary. Like viral reels aren't necessary. And I always tell all my clients, like, your deepest messaging pieces of content will always have the lowest engagement, right? That's because you're speaking to specific people. But viral content these days, the way that you need to market, even just in general, even your offers, you need to show your fucking personality. It is personality over perfection. A couple years ago, we went through the clean aesthetic girl era where it's like the fucking bitches that want, oh, so visually rah rah. The shit that will go viral is you recording your shit when you got your 6 chins and whatever else, right? Because it's fucking real and people want to see that. So like a lot of the girls that I work with, we're breaking this mold of I have to show up pretty, polished, perfect, and professional. If that's not who you are, fuck that.
Yes,
Like, yuck.
literally. And I feel like because as we're moving into a really high technological age, we have the law of polarity that plays out, meaning that the more connection people want to feel at the same level that the technology is evolving.
Yep.
So we're always going to have that playing out, which is an advantage for everything that we are doing now.
Oh, and like, I think actually, I want to say to you, I think so the authenticity in me recognizes authenticity in other people, and I'm always so drawn to those people. And so at the start of this, when you said, you know, what makes me feel like my bad bitch self is people recognizing this energy about me, and I would love to reflect to you that I believe what it is they see in you is the authenticity. It's that deep love and self-acceptance and ownership of you and your fucking power. And this world will tell people that that's ego, right?
Mm,
It's egotistical to love yourself. It's egotistical to think you're the shit. Bitch, if you don't think you are the motherfucking shit, who else is going to?
which again, but it's like, of course, it's going to be put into the ether that it's egoic. Anything that actually serves us and anything that's actually going to be a great way to live moving forward, that's going to allow you to be in power, that's going to allow you to be like unfucking shakeable within yourself, is going to be taught and told that
Yeah.
it's not okay. So do the fucking opposite of what
Yeah.
you've been
Do the
told.
opposite of everything you've ever been told is what us black sheep are telling you. That's what we did, and that's how we got where we are. What is one thing that you wish more women and men understood about the road to success?
That it actually requires you to be associated and in your feelings, in your
Yeah.
emotions. You don't know how to feel, that's going to translate in the level of results that you have.
Yep. 1000%. Because, like, the feminine way, you know, what we're talking about here when we talk about, you know, this new age, even the feminine way to manifest is through emotion. And so if you are shut off to emotion, then you can't really manifest shit. I mean, you can hustle your way if you want, but bitch, you will burn your ass out. Like, you can't, you know, the bottom of a candle, I always say this, the bottom of a candle when there's no wax left and it's that tiny motherfucker, you can't light that bitch. She's got nothing left to give, you know? And people are like this constant decade hamster fucking shit, and it's like, bro, there's so much of an easier way.
Yes.
Yeah, doesn't mean it's always going to be easy though, and I think that's the part again with the entitled motherfuckers that are out there.
Mm.
You know, there is internal shit you got to move through. What were you going to say?
100%. I think it's like recognizing the compound effect and delayed gratification. I feel like we live in such a society that is so used to instant gratification. It's getting worse now with social media, but it's like I remember when I was working in sales and I was training my sales team, the first thing I would always do is to tell them to read the book The Compound Effect, because we live in such a society where we get everything instantly. Like if you want food, you don't even need to go out and get it anymore. It gets delivered to your front door. It's the same with sex. You just go on a dating app and it's just that everything that we want is literally at the fingertips. Like I remember walking through the fucking grocery store and seeing that you don't even need to fucking cook your own rice or pizza anymore. You can put that cunt in the fucking microwave. They have toasties in the freezer that you can put in the fucking microwave. And I'm like, cunt, what the fuck? What?
Oh my
And that
god.
is literally just a reflection of how domesticated we've become. I literally watched this video a couple of months ago of this woman who's like going back. She's like a model, but she's fucking from Africa, so I can't remember, Nigeria or something. And she's literally living in the same way that her ancestors did. And she's literally making rice, this process of rice. And I was like, holy fuck, I didn't realize it was so long. And it almost takes the whole day just to prepare their fucking dinner. And she's literally got this like wooden circle thing, and she's like literally tossing this rice and picking out and separating what almost looks like a shell or like skin of the rice one by one. And I'm
Oh,
like, kidding me, that would take hours. It's like we would have no idea that that's a process, because we literally just pick up the bag from the shelf and then we think it's hard to just cook it in a pot. We've got rice cookers, or we've got the fucking 3 minute microwave bags of pre-cooked rice that we can just put in there.
girl.
Like convenience is what is fucking a lot of people and creating this entitlement.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it lowers capacity, you know, because if we were to sit most people down and say, pick the rice shells, bitch, fuck, I got no, I have shit to do. You know, I'm not sitting and picking this rice, bitch. All right, so we're going to begin to wrap it up a little bit because I'm mindful of your time, you beautiful goddess. I would love to ask one final question. What is one thing you feel if everybody knew or did would change their life?
I think most people know this to the level of the mind, but if they actually like, if it actually landed in the body and they lived this way, The fact that they are created in the image of God. Literally that in itself, and journeying that and questioning that and asking yourself, how is this true? How is this possible? Can just unfold a massive journey of what you are actually capable of, because it's amazing.
Interesting, because this whole, you know, I have such interesting, like you would too, beliefs about religion, you know, especially when it comes to like Christianity. And I talk about, I've shared before that spirituality, Christianity, same motherfucking thing, except spirituality is open and it's different. Like, you know, they talk about prophesying, channeling is the same shit, prayer, affirmation, like it's all the same motherfucking thing. And so when the Bible says, like, you know, you're created in the likeness and image of God, that means you are God, motherfucker. So stop again outsourcing to something external when you have the power internally. But I think people are so lacking knowledge, lacking motivation, lacking the willingness to do the hard things, that they just stay stuck in their miserable fucking realities.
Literally. And it's
Sad.
like, yeah, it is so sad. And it's just recognizing that you are the creator.
Yes. Or creatress. Either
Or
or.
creatress.
Whatever non-binary shit you want to identify
Yeah,
with.
whatever
Fuck with that
fucking
shit.
he, they, them, it fucking donkey shit. I actually drove past a car the other day. It had a sticker. It was a Tesla, and it was like, this Tesla identifies as a Prius. And I just was like, that's gold.
Samirah, I would love to, for the people who are listening, what are the ways that they can work with you? Are there any specific containers or openings or events or even maybe a retreat that you have happening that you'd like to share with us?
Absolutely. So my retreat that's coming up in May has sold. However, I do have a couple of spots left for November. So more information you can find on my Instagram on that. That's the best way to find me, is on my Instagram. My mastermind, the Egyptian Alchemy, where you can learn how to embody and become a conscious creator.
Yeah,
Clear.
and essentially be like this bitch who's making money, a lot of money, by the way, making fucking bank, living her best life, and this fucking cool dude. Like, would you not want to be this cool? I want to be that cool.
Yeah.
All right, so my love, thank you so much for being on here, guys. I will drop all of Samirah's links below. Feel free to, you know, share, like, comment down below if you've got any, you know, opposing opinions. Otherwise, I love you so much, you sexy bad bitch or big dog, and I will see you in the next episode. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you were to subscribe to this, and also if you were to share this with somebody who you know needs to get the fuck out of their own way and start stepping into their most authentic, wealthy, successful, bad bitch self. If you'd like to connect with me deeper, you can find me at Demi Cannon across all platforms. And if you'd like to work with me at a one-to-one or in one of my group containers, the links are down below. I love you. Go do the fucking thing.